started my own company. Since then, it's been 0%.
All right. And then we came to this podcast. What do you think? Where does this 30% story even start?
Last year, I paid KL Rahul only this much. Rishabh Pant, you are coming in this year, so I can pay you only this much. No matter whether you work 16 hours and that guy worked only 6 hours, both of you are equal to me. Jaya Bachchan comes in, put a prosthetic leg to her and make it 5'5". Amitabh Bachchan comes, slash him by a feet and then say you should also be 5 inches.
How many people do you see asking for give me an 80% hike? Or forget percentages, give me 3 crore rupees. How many people even do it?
It's a senior's way of telling I struggle my life. I cannot, enjoy seeing you have your life the easy way. I want you also to struggle.
The kind of background I was going into B school, it might not be 500%. Yeah.
You're just going to look at what is 1 kg of onion in Zepto, what is 1 kg of onion in Bitbasket. And then you're going to order it from the cheapest place possible.
If you chase what you like how I have been fortunate enough to structure my career, I think the 30% don't matter. See, the whole idea of a hike means drawing a line from where you are currently. You are going to be hired in the same role. So the other person has an argument saying that it's the same job. Maybe you have one more person reporting into you. Maybe it's just about 1 grade above. So I think 30% is fair and you're ready to accept.
Leadership hiring happens with hope.
Yeah.
With belief. Okay.
It's like an arranged marriage.
It's like an arranged marriage. You believe that this person will deliver.
Yeah.
And you go by what the person markets himself to you.
Yeah.
Everything else is commodity. Why is Rishabh Pant paid the money he's paid? Why? What has he done differently? In the US, in certain states, if you ask their existing salary, it's a crime.
That LSD is kind of ready to pay more and more and more, and that's an element of everybody wants him, so he's going to be ultra special. So let me take more out of my purse. Let me take more. So if you're going to do that, and that's what a lot of employees do as well, right? Today, the people reporting into me come to me and not in the existing role, but in the past have come to me and said that, hey, you know what, I'm getting this from this company, I'm getting this from that company. Now I am the LSD guy.
And if a person is already decided to move, no matter what the current company is offering, they should not.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the moment the current company offers him, the company started looking at a replacement for him.
Yeah.
So that they can replace him at the earliest possible. So staying in the same company after getting an offer is a stupid decision.
We understood why the whole practice of drawing a line from where you are currently or where you were previously comes into picture. Where the whole 30% cap is coming from, because I think it's a smart ploy by the HRs and the finance guys of the world as well, that hey, you know what, let's cap it at, let's make 30 look fancy, right? But then that's a measure of the maturity the candidate brings onto the table as well. I'm not saying we're all that mature as people on the hiring side of things. All right, welcome back everyone to the FU podcast. So Gautam, today we're going to talk about the 30% hike. So what do you think is this whole 30% nonsense?
It's a communal angle to the entire salary game so that these employers don't have to pay you more. How do you think you got here, Ananth?
Well, for me, it was so that's not how I got here. I'll tell you how. So tell me your progress in numbers. Show me a graph.
First job, 300%. First switch. Second switch, 250%. And then I started my own company. Since then, it's been 0%.
All right. And then we came to this podcast.
In terms of salary, not in terms of profit.
Hope we make some percent.
Yeah.
All right. That's fantastic. So I would say.
How did you, obviously you're not 30%.
Yeah.
So how did you get?
So first to second was, I would say 500%. Then it has been 30 and even 25-ish in the previous one. As you go up the numbers, it becomes difficult to even keep the 30%. But then I wouldn't like to talk about it in terms of numbers. It is more of what value you add, what do you bring to the table, what do you want from the table as well, right? Which kind of determines how do you jump from A to B. So as a recruiter, all right, who has been, you primarily hire from colleges and, arrange the placement game, but about the larger, not just leadership hiring, but, lateral hiring in general. What do you think, where does this 30% story even start?
So
tell me.
This again is a very communist angle, okay? So there is something called pay parity. If I have to keep you at par with people in my company, so that my current people don't quit me and leave.
Yeah.
So I have to give you something that is at par with a 5-year experience guy in my company or a 10-year experience guy in my company. So there is something called pay parity. It is like telling you're a wicketkeeper batsman, like LSG is telling, last year I paid KL Rahul only this much. Rishabh Pant, you're coming in this year, so I can pay you only this much.
All right.
So I'm a wicketkeeper batsman, but that doesn't mean everybody is the same.
Yeah.
The same goes for a Python developer, or the same goes for everybody else. So this is a very communist angle. So the moment it is saying if you're 3 years experienced, no matter whether you work 16 hours and that guy worked only 6 hours, both of you are equal to me. So that I don't have to make the tough decision of who is better.
Okay.
In terms of evaluating you qualitatively. I just have to evaluate you quantitatively.
All right.
And 30% is just a a single yardstick. It's like Indian's average height is 5 foot 5 inches. Jaya Bachchan comes in, put a prosthetic leg to her and make it 5 foot 5. Amitabh Bachchan comes, slash him by a feet and then say you should also be 5 foot 5 inches. So that's how this whole 30% is.
All right. So you're saying it is more of a restrictive practice to make sure that all of us slaves kind of behave ourselves and don't expect too much or don't ask for too much and end up kind of falling into a framework that we don't by design ask for. So even if you go out in the market, how many people do you see asking for give me an 80% hike, or forget percentages, give me 3 crore rupees? How many people even do it? They are fixated to the 30% conundrum.
No, the larger leadership level, right?
Yeah.
So there is technically there is no hike at all. You move laterally just for the role variety. But
you even take a dip.
You even take a dip if the role is good enough, or they compensate you with stocks. This is like I don't want to work with my brain. I don't want to evaluate anybody qualitatively. For me, everything is quantity. So a 3-year experience guy is this much, and this is what I pay my current 3-year experience guys. And you are coming in. This is all I can pay you. Anything more, buzz off. I'm not bothered about you.
All right. So don't you think we are encouraging, or we are rather superimposing the reality of the Indian society that, hey, you know what, nobody's allowed to jump, even if they are capable. You're going to go step by step, and I won't allow you to sort of leap 4 steps at a time. You can't run, so you better fall in line. Otherwise, do your own thing, and good luck with it.
It's a senior's way of telling I struggle my life. I cannot, enjoy seeing you have your life the easy way. I want you also to struggle. So that's the way I look at it. And, it's not that this is applicable to 100% of the population. There is, a special section of the population that kind of, bypasses all these rules. Yeah. For example, whenever I walked into a company, I said 300%, 250% and all of that. I told this much business comes with me. And if you let me go, this much business walks with me.
Yeah.
So when you control revenue numbers, people don't generally question. There is always an exception for the rule.
Yeah.
Are you the exception is the only question.
Yeah. But let's think about it.
How did you become an exception?
I see. For me, the whole 500% at the start came because of a catalyst, and that was my MBA at ISB. I was at a automobile manufacturing company as a supervisor, running the operations in the plant, 6 days working before my MBA, and I was at an e-commerce company after my MBA in an entirely different role. So again, right, the B school helped add value to my profile, and also gave me, it's not just the stamp, it also gave me a platform to present myself to my upcoming recruiters in the placement season in a different way, where you're starting from a specific bar, which itself was this 300% of what I was earning beforehand, and then you work upwards. For many other people who are not from the kind of background I was, going into B school, it might not be 500%, because manufacturing pays much lower than tech and startups and companies who have raised capital and stuff. So I think it might be different for people. Some people might be just, pre to post B school might be less than 100%.
So how I see it is, this is the value that I bring into your company, and I'm asking you probably 1/10 of that.
All right.
So then it is a fair bargain for the employer as well as for the employee, because the employee is not taking any risk. The employer is taking all the risk. But probably at 1/10 value, it's fair enough. But if you are a commodity, which is like, I'm a Python developer with 3 years of experience. not somebody I've built this product which has made this many millions and this is the impact I've created. That would be a much cohesive story for you to demand. If you say I'm a Python developer with 3 years of experience, or I'm a Selenium tester with 9 years of experience, then you're commoditizing yourself. So when you commoditize yourself, you are going to, if you're going to buy onion from Zepto and Flipkart, or let's say Big Basket, you're just going to look at what is 1 kg of onion in Zepto, what is 1 kg of onion in Big Basket, and then you're going to order it from the cheapest place possible. Because a kg of onion is a kg of onion. So if you look at people like that, then you're going to commoditize them. If you look at people as value, so you're not looking iPhone as, electronic components and chips and manufactured together, 20,000 rupees of value, items combined together. You're looking at it as value and the whole ecosystem as a whole. That's why you're paying 1.5 lakhs for a phone. So when other phones are available at half the price. So that is the value system that you will have to create. And I'm sure, you currently got to where you were because of the value you create, not because of the years of experience you had.
So I would say, to adding to that, if you chase what you like how I have been fortunate enough to structure my career, I think the 30% don't matter. All right. There have been cases where I have, switched at less than even 20%. But then there have been cases where the hike is as much as 50% at a senior leadership level, right? And it has happened because you chase what you like, and eventually that comes back to sort of gift you. That hey, if you've done this, you've been at the right place at the right time in the right industry, and you've been able to choose your racetrack pretty smartly, you should be able to go much beyond. But let us think about it from the point of view of the recruiter as well. The whole idea of a hike means drawing a line from where you are currently, right? Using a existing point of reference to be able to take the next one, right? So why does that happen? Most cases that would happen only because you are being hired into a similar role or the same role, where you are also saying, I am a tester, or I am an analyst, or I am a Google Ads expert, or I am whatever, right? You are going to be hired in the same role. So the other person has an argument saying that it's the same job. Maybe you have one more person reporting into you. Maybe it's just about 1 grade above. So I think 30% is fair, and you're ready to accept it. Whereas for a CEO goes and 4x the value sometimes. That's because that person is going to sort of spread himself out and say that what I did before and what I'm going to do in your company is poles apart. But you know what? I'm the only guy who can do it. This is the kind of ambiguity I've handled. I'm ready to handle the same ambiguity at, say, a global level, or I did it at a 1,000 people level. I can do it at 1 million people, or a 10,000 people level.
Leadership hiring happens with hope. With belief. Okay.
It's like an arranged marriage.
It's like an arranged marriage. You believe that this person will deliver, and you go by what the person markets himself to you. Everything else is commodity. So let's draw a parallel to IPL.
So it's a tangibles and intangibles question here.
So let's draw a parallel to IPL. Why is Rishabh Pant paid the money he's paid? Why? What have they done differently? It's because of the value that LSG believes that Rishabh Pant will bring into the whole ecosystem, and what LSG had in purse to afford him. That's about it. It's got nothing to do with what he was making before. Or what he's going to make next year.
True. There is no this is a separate data point, and there is no precedence or...
Exactly. In the US, in certain states, if you ask their, existing salary, it's a crime.
All right.
You just say what you're willing to pay, let him ask what he wants to ask. You both agree if it works. It's like you bought this house, let's say for 2 crores, and today, you want to sell it at 10 crores. Somebody comes and tells you, hey, you got it for 2 crores, making more than 30% is a crime. You sell it for 2.6, not for 10 crores. Then, you're like...
But it's a function of supply demand, right? Let me come to that. So Rishabh Pant, let us say, got 2 crores last year, and let us say he went out for 10 crores this year. The 10 crores is also a function of how much the team he is in, LSG, wants him, and how much the others are kind of trying to pull him away in the auction. that LSD is kind of ready to pay more and more and more, and that's an element of, hey, everybody wants him, so he's going to be ultra special. So let me take more out of my purse. Let me take more. So if you're going to do that, and that's what a lot of employees do as well, right? Today, the people reporting into me come to me and not in the existing role, but in the past have come to me and said that, hey, you know what, I'm getting this from this company, I'm getting this from that company. Now I am the LSD guy, right? I am the Goenkaji in the room, thinking about, there are cases where I've said, hey, you know what, I'll match that. So you stay on. But that usually doesn't go well. Right?
So once you decided to move, you move.
Yeah. So and more often than not, after say one instance of trying to retain an employee who's come to me with another offer letter, haven't gone well. The guy anyways left in 4 months. From then onwards, whoever has come to me with an offer or a set of offers, I usually sit them down and help them pick which is the best one. Very clearly stating that this door is shut. So it helps me.
No, there's no point, there is no sanctity in, retaining a guy who has already decided to leave.
And using that as a weapon to sort of stay on.
And this is like putting a gun to your head and asking you to love me. That will not work.
Yeah.
It has to happen. And if a person has already decided to move, no matter what the current company is offering, they should not.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the moment the current company offers him, the company started looking at a replacement for him.
Yeah.
So that, they can replace him at the earliest possible. So staying in the same company after getting an offer is a stupid decision.
Yeah.
And then second is, once somebody has decided to move, no matter how critical the person is, if he has fallen out of love, there is no point begging him to stay with you.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it.
Sure.
And that's what has worked best for me because, probably, if they're dating multiple people, and that again comes back to the 3-month notice period. Because of the 3-month notice period is why the guy has a longer time to,
do all this marination.
Do all these things. If it's 15 days, he'll not probably have a lot of time to decide.
Yeah.
So he'll make a decision fast.
Yeah.
That is what I
see. So I think we discussed about the idea of the 30% hike, right? Let's remove the 30% out there. Asking for a hike basis your previous role itself comes from the fact that, hey, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing, right? But just because you need me, and just because I'm changing roles, give me more, right? I don't think it's true in case of a lot of roles. In mature countries, people would pretty much move at the same price as well. This is an upwardly mobile market, maybe that's why we are asking for hikes. The idea of hikes might go away when we become a developed country, but I would say we understood why the whole practice of drawing a line from where you are currently or where you were previously comes into picture, where the whole 30% cap is coming from, because I think it's a smart ploy by the HRs and the finance guys of the world as well, that, hey, you know what, let's cap it at, let's make 30 look fancy, that folks don't jump beyond that. Why is 50% not really the norm? And only
it's
30?
an unwritten rule. No, and nobody knows who wrote it. Nobody knows why we follow it, but everybody follows it.
But everybody's happy at 30. So people look at 30 and say, you know what, I got a 30% hike when I changed, and people say it proudly.
Obviously, not you, not me. So we're not happy with 30%.
Yeah.
So that way,
it goes both ways, right? I can take from where I am currently, I can take a slight hit and do a job which is maybe twice or 10 times or 30% more jazzier than where I am currently, and take a 30% dip as well. At the same time, I can move at the same salary and still make it happen, and maybe go at 2x and do something. It's a function of supply demand more than anything else. But let me ask you a more interesting question, which would interest the Gen Zs of today as well. All of this is great when you're earning a salary, but as the world moves into a gig economy phase, right? My mate doesn't come to me and ask for a 30% hike because the previous house she was working in was giving her 30% lesser than, or was giving her X and she's asking for 1.3x. She just comes and says that, hey, I want to do this and this is the price. Nobody says,
take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. In the negotiation, neither my cook nor my maid, gig workers, don't tell me that, hey, you know what, I want a 30% hike, I want a 10% hike, I want a 5% hike. Here's, when they don't have a payslip to show, but they still are able to sort of state a price, get me to negotiate and agree on something which makes them feel they won it, makes me feel I won it, and they end up working.
That's an interesting point that you're making, Ananth, because just because you are making a job switch and going to do the same thing what you are doing currently and coming and doing the same thing here in my company, why should I give you a hike?
Yeah.
Probably that's a very interesting point that I have not thought about. Because you decided to get married or because you decided to move jobs doesn't mean I have to give you a hike, right?
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting point. I've never thought about it from that angle.
Why should I even give someone a hike while changing roles? Right? What's the justification? Maybe I'll try that. I'm hiring off late.
Okay.
I'll see how that goes. Right, but then that's a measure of the maturity the candidate brings onto the table as well. I'm not saying we're all that mature as people on the hiring side of things, but then food for thought, I would say. 30 is not, no number is the right number. Do not make it a number. Make it about yourself. It's the value you bring to the table. All right. If you can, if you're a mechanic who knows just how to change tires, then you get paid $100 a day. If you can change tires, fix the engine, clean the car, you get paid $1,000 a day. It's 10x the difference. So the more you bring to the table, gets you the capability to have more dibs on what's there on the table. So let's make it a factor of that, as compared to say that he paid me 10, so you got to pay me 13. All right.
Interesting. I kind of agree.